All right, what is up, guys? Back at it again, man. If you guys were a part of the reaction stream earlier on the reaction channel, J Reacts, you guys were definitely pleasantly surprised about the kind of relationships there are out there, especially towards the tail end of that live stream. But we are on a different topic today, and I think this is going to be some sauce that you guys could really take advantage of and use in your daily lives. And because I know that if you are subscribed to this channel, you want to travel. You don't want to just see me travel. You want to travel yourself. So I wanted to just bring you guys just some information that I've used in the past when I started traveling, and I thought that travel was impossible on the money I was making at that time. But this is kind of like a list of 5 things that can help you travel on a budget, and I got a little bit of a bonus at the end for you guys as well. So first, let's jump right into it, man. But if you guys are not already subscribed to the channel and get some type of value from this, not only for yourself, but if you can see some value being extracted by someone else, make sure you share the video with them as well, and like the video as well on your way in and on your way out. If you're because this is the live stream, right? So you're coming in and out of the live stream depending on if you have something else to watch or what have you. But we are going to be looking at how you can travel on any budget, and let me just tell you, it's possible, trust me. So let's jump right into it, guys. We got 5 simple things here, and also the bonus ones are going to be an extra 5 that you guys can take advantage of, and we're going to delve deeper into each of these so you guys can be informed on how you can travel on a budget. So we have just a few folks in here now, and just keep in mind that the channel is remonetized as well, so you guys can drop a super chat in here as well. I know we have a few folks in here already, so if you guys are getting some type of value out of this, super chats are open, man. So the first one is traveling off peak. The second is use budget airlines and compare flights. Third is to stay in affordable accommodations. Fourth is using public transportation or walking as well. And then the last one, the last main one is planning and cooking your own meals while you're abroad. That one's crazy work too. So let's go deeper on something before we even hit number 1, right? I don't want this to be a super long stream, but I want it to be very informative, very clear and concise, right? So before you even start thinking about traveling, you have to do the pre-work. So if I'm blocking, I'm going to be reading through this. So even if I'm blocking some text on the presentation, it'll still be informative to you guys. I'll still read through it. So the first is budgeting your money. And this is possibly the most important portion of it, because you can't travel without money, right? So you have to figure out how much money you're making first, and then figure out how much money you're spending on expenses, your living expenses. And if you are finding out that you have literally nothing at the end of the month, you have too much month at the end of your money, as Dave Ramsey would say, you have to do more work, right? You have to work more hours, multiple jobs, drive Uber and Lyft on the weekends, do DoorDash deliveries for food. You have to ask for more hours at your 9-to-5 regular job. If they offer additional hours, you have to just get out there and get it, because you can outwork poverty, right? If you are in a position financially where you're not satisfied, it's 2024, turning 2025. There are ways that you can make money outside of your 9-to-5 that involves, you can do YouTube, you can do a YouTube channel, but you are able to outwork poverty in this day and age. And I promise you, it's possible. You just have to be able to do the work. If you want a result, you have to put in the work for it, right? And once you put in these hours, once you work these extra jobs, you have to know how much you need to save in order to travel. So you have to figure out where you want to travel first. I think if someone is from the US, their first international trip should be somewhere that is a little bit more affordable. Maybe Mexico, like a Mexico vacation. They can buy like a package with Costco, Sam's Club, or Expedia. It doesn't have to be like a Costco or a Sam's Club, but it can be like an entire package that you could have a number, like an actual number that you need to spend, or that this entire vacation costs, because they give you flight, hotel, transportation, all of this balled up into one. And once you have that number in your head, you already know how much money to save up, whether you're working your regular day job and saving money on the side, or if you're working multiple jobs like delivering food or doing Uber and Lyft on the weekends for rideshare, you know how much money to save. And the last part of this pre-work portion of it is having a separate bank account for these travel expenses. So if you book like an all-inclusive vacation to Mexico, you know, your food, your lodging, and your drinks are already included. If you know that for 100% fact, you don't have to worry about any additional expenses besides any like excursions, like any adventures outside of the hotel. You can you can do that. Right? You have to know how much money to save like a maybe like $200 or $300 extra over that amount, and put that into a separate bank account just for travel. We got one person. Okay, we got another chat. Carl Lang in the building. What's up, Carl? Yeah, it's been a while, man. I do the live stream travel reactions on my other channel called J Reacts. It's strictly geared towards reaction videos, and this one is only going to be about travel. But hopefully you guys will see some value out of this once we dig deeper into it. So once you've done the pre-work, you got your money together, please don't travel if you're in debt. Take care of your debt before you travel, because going on a trip, and I can speak from firsthand experience, right? So I'm not saying this because I haven't been through it. I've been through it before. I have traveled when I was in like credit card debt, and I didn't enjoy the trip as much as I think I could have if I wasn't in debt. So first, get out of debt, have no debt besides like your house and obviously maybe your car. That's normal nowadays, having a car debt, and of course house debt if you have that. But if you have like consumer debt, like credit cards, get that paid off before you travel. I promise you it's going to make a much more enjoyable trip. So let's go to the first one of the presentation here. I know I'm still probably blocking some text, but as I said before, I'm going to read through all of these so you guys can extract the value out of it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this document on a Google Drive that you guys can access. I'm going to put the link to this in the description box below, so you guys can actually access this after the live stream, so you guys can actually have the source material from this. So the first thing you want to do is travel off peak, right? It sounds so easy, right? So the first bullet here says avoid high season price hikes. So you don't want to travel during peak season, like summertime or the holidays especially. Oh my gosh. I looked up flights to go back to Michigan, to my hometown for Thanksgiving, the upcoming holiday. And I'm used to paying like maybe $200, maybe $300 round trip USD to go back home. But during the holidays, it's almost double. So avoid going during peak season. Even if it's very enticing and the weather's great, you're going to be paying a lot more money during peak season. And I had to actually look this up. So the next bullet point says take advantage of shoulder seasons. So times just before or after peak season typically offer lower prices, and you can still get that same weather during the peak season as well. It's very similar. So if you go to maybe Cancun, will be the perfect first trip internationally for someone that lives in the USA or Canada even, that would be the perfect trip if you go on the shoulder season, because you get the cheaper prices for all of these packages and you get the great weather where it's not too hot and it's not too cold. Even though like December, January is my favorite time to go because the weather is like perfect. So the third bullet point here, it says experience local life more authentically. So fewer tourists mean more authentic interactions with locals and less crowded attractions. And I would kind of like segue this into visiting less known areas in different countries. So when I speak about travel, I'm talking about international travel. I'm not speaking about national travel within your own country. That you can do that too if you're on a budget, but traveling internationally, getting that stamp in that passport, there's no other feeling like that than being outside of your comfort zone, being outside of your country where they speak a different language, use a different currency, have different foods, have different customs. It's just so different. And you may have to visit different, you may have to visit less populated cities. It could be in Mexico, it could be in Costa Rica, it could be Panama. I'm going to give you guys a couple of resources as well, websites that you should be looking at daily if you are looking to travel on a budget. The two websites, I'll give it at the end of the stream, but they're going to be extremely useful because they give you flight deals, packages that otherwise you wouldn't be able to take advantage of because you don't know about them. These two websites collect all of that information, and it gives you all of the prices, the destinations, and where you can fly from. It's super useful. I actually flew to Japan for the first time using one of the websites, and you guys have no idea that I paid $326 round trip from Los Angeles to Tokyo, Japan for $326 on Japan Airlines. So it's not one of those cheapo airlines either. It was just using those two websites together. The next bullet point here, I'm probably blocking it. Flexible travel dates. This is one of the biggest things here. You have to be flexible with your travel dates. This is how I got that Japan trip or the Japan flight for $326. I was extremely flexible. And as soon as I saw that deal on one of the websites I'll give you guys at the end of the stream, I literally went to my manager at the time when I was working in retail, in a retail environment. And I said, hey, I need these days off now, essentially. So he approved it on the spot, and I booked the flight on that same day as I saw it on the website. Best decision I ever made in my life. I promise y'all. So a day or two difference in your itinerary can make a big difference in price. Exactly right. Okay, guys, travel off peak. Number 1. Number 2. Let's see if we got some chats. Yeah, Carl. Hold on, Carl. Let's see. You have no business traveling when you are in debt. Yeah, bro. A lot of people do, man. A lot of people do. You'll be very surprised. People go on these extravagant trips to everywhere, like Colombia, Brazil, and they'll be in extreme credit card debt. And I'm like, how are you here spending money when you owe money? My water bottle. And when you owe money back home in the States, that's crazy. That's a crazy mindset to be a part of. I think that people should have their finances straight here first before they travel anywhere. Carl says, go to countries that are friendly to black people. Let's not patronize places where we don't get the best treatment, even if it's a popular destination. That's true, man. That is true. I didn't even think about that. Cool. So the second main part of this, how to travel on any budget, is use budget airlines and compare flights. This is the ultimate cheat code. This is actually what I use to travel to Mexico almost every 2 weeks or at will when I want to. And I do fly with a budget airline. I'm not afraid to say that. Like I make good money. I can travel wherever I want on Earth, but for me to be able to travel to Mexico for $130 round trip from Las Vegas and not have a stopover or a layover anywhere and just go straight there, it's a dream for me. So I did that. So use flight comparison website tools. So I use Momondo. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's not listed here, but I may have to add it as an additional resource to this slide presentation before I put it up in a Google Drive for you guys. But I've used Google Flights, Skyscanner, and Kayak. They're cool. Momondo and Skiplagged as well. Skiplagged is something that I've used here domestically in the US, where essentially, if it's cheaper for you to fly to another city and it has a stopover in the city that you actually want to have as your final destination, you would just get off in that city and the plane would just continue to the next city that you were originally booked on. And they do that because it saves you money on taxes going to the original place. It's hard to explain, but I'll leave that as additional resource as well. And the second bullet point is being flexible with your dates and destinations. This is a big one too. It was kind of mentioned on the previous slide, but consider nearby airports and alternative travel dates for cheaper fares. So I use this traveling to the UK. One second. I use that traveling to the UK because the UK has, I believe, 3 different airports, and they have Heathrow. I know they have Luton, and it's a third one that I can't remember at the moment. But when I was doing my Euro trip, I looked at flight prices from London Heathrow and Luton. Even though Luton was like hella far away and I had to take like an Uber to get there, they offered a much cheaper flight flying out of Luton than they did out of London Heathrow, just by changing the airport and traveling to Paris. And it was like a third of the price from flying from London Heathrow because of the taxes. Let's see, we got Carl. What another? I think that's probably based. I'm based in Germany. It's a total different ball game traveling from this side. Yeah. Oh, Gatwick, bruh. Yeah, Gatwick. Yes, Gatwick, Luton, and London Heathrow. So those 3. And let's see. I'm based in. It's totally different ball game. Yes, man. I had a terrible experience flying through Germany a couple years ago, and I was like, man, I really don't like traveling to this airport in Germany. I won't name names, but yeah, being flexible is the literal cheat code to traveling on any budget. I promise you guys, it's so important. Watch for additional fees. Oh boy. if you guys have flown, he's asking what happened. If you guys have ever flown like a lower cost budget airline like Spirit, Frontier, Ryanair, they have a ton of them around Earth, right? They charge you for everything. I think Ryanair even charges for air. But budget airlines often charge extra for checked bags, seat selection, or even snacks. The cheat code to at least the for the snacks part, I'll address in the bonus section of this live stream. You guys are not going to believe it, and it's free food. And I'll show you guys that travel hack, man. It's a travel hack. And yeah, check bags. I think I have a link to the luggage that I use for traveling on these low cost airline carriers. It's the luggage is called takeoff luggage, where what they've done, they've taken the dimensions of the sizer boxes for all of the low budget airlines for a personal item that flies for free. And they've taken those dimensions and they made a bag where it's those exact dimensions for that sizer box that they have at the airport. And it's the bag is the exact same size as those sizer boxes when the wheels are taken off of the luggage. And what you do when you get to the airport and they try to like make you pay for a bag once they size it, you take the wheels off and you drop that take off luggage into the box, and it just magically just floats into the box. I've done it before, and I'm like, people are like, oh, whoa, what bag is that? It's because you can literally fly a personal item for free, and it looks like a regular carry-on. So that's another, that link is actually in the description box right now. So you guys want to buy that from Amazon, it's available. Let's see, set price alerts. This is super important as well. I know hopper.com has those price alerts where you can set and you can be notified or emailed or send a notification on your phone where they notify you when fares do drop, and they give you a recommendation whether to book now or book later or wait or what have you. So using those websites, using as many resources as possible and comparing them. That's what this slide boils down to. Compare different resources on the internet, because you can have different prices depending on which website you use. So use all of them. Okay, let's hit some chats real quick. He's asking what happened. So I was flying back, and I forgot what airport it was, man, to be honest with you. But I just know that I had the worst time navigating this damn airport, and they had you go outside to the terminal, take a bus to another part of the terminal, and I was still lost, bro. And I've been traveling around the world for years, and this was the worst designed airport I have ever seen in my lifetime, bro. And I was like, you know what? I'm never coming back here again. Like I literally left security on accident and had to go back through security because I got lost and turned around. Like there was no help or any signs that told me I was leaving the airport or the terminal. I just flew with them to Ireland 2 weeks ago. Oh, Ryanair. Yeah. Yeah. Those little sketch, bro. My black people in the U.S. hardly ever travel outside the country unless they are in the military or work purposes. Oh my gosh. Yes, Carl, that is so true. That is so true. I think the U.S. is probably one of the least traveled first world countries on the planet. Like people don't even have their passports here, and we have one of the most powerful passports on earth, and people still don't freaking travel. Let me move this chat a little bit so you guys can see the slide. I find that crazy, bro. That is the most craziest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Like that's like having like the most muscles ever, and you never use your muscles at all for anything other than just going to lift at the gym. It's like a waste, bro. It's a waste of a citizenship. It's actually cheaper to travel internationally most of the time than going to Vegas, LA, and New York. Whoa, Carl. That's so true. That's so true. Literally, like I tell people, like I traveled to Mexico round trip for $130 USD, and you would be hard pressed not to spend $130 to spend a weekend in Vegas or a weekend in LA. Bro, even breathing air in LA costs $100 a day, bro. Like it's crazy expensive in the US. Okay, so main point number 3, staying in affordable accommodations. So depending on which country you choose or select to travel to, you may have a much easier time finding affordable accommodations. So for instance, I went to Lima, Peru this year, and based on their currency exchange with the soles and the US dollar, I didn't have to spend that much money on accommodations, and it was fairly easy to find an Airbnb that was like $15 or $20 a night. And it was actually pretty luxurious because of the exchange rate. So hotels and budget hotels. There are these are ideal for solo travelers or groups and often offer shared spaces to save money. Yeah, you could honestly, you could use hostels. I've actually stayed in a hostel during my Euro trip back in the day when I actually flew from Los Angeles to London for $99. I don't even know if that video is still up on YouTube, but I flew from here to London for $100 on a airline that doesn't exist anymore. But I stayed at a hostel in both London and in Paris, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome for a solo traveler to stay in that's on a budget." You not only get to not spend that much money on accommodations, but you also get to meet new people. And the people that I met in my hostel, a lot of them spoke English. A lot of them were from different countries, different cultures, and keeping in contact with those people that you meet in these hostels, when you go to their country, you get to hang out with them and experience different culture. And when they come to your country, your city, you get to also show that love back to them and show them your culture, the way that you kind of live in your own country, which is amazing. I think that is probably worth its weight in gold. All right. Book through platforms like Airbnb. Oh boy. Airbnb has to be one of the best inventions of all time as far as travel goes, because there are cities and countries where hotel prices are absolutely astronomical, and it is almost unaffordable to stay there for more than like 2 or 3 days. Like it's crazy. I've seen hotel prices in Mexico be like $300 a night, and I'm like, what is going on this weekend? And it's like a holiday weekend that I have never heard of. But when you go to Airbnb, things cost a third of that price, and you get more space and a kitchen and a nicer shower, and you don't have to you have like your own private entrance into your place, which is why I love Airbnb so much. But I always stress that you guys should compare your accommodations with either with Airbnb or hotels.com, so you guys can make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. So the rest of this bullet point here says renting a room or an entire apartment can be cheaper than a hotel and provide a kitchen to save on meals. And this is going to play into point number 5. Once I get down there, having a kitchen is extremely important to save money while you're traveling. And I typically don't recommend this unless you know the person well. It says consider couch surfing on the next bullet point. Stay with locals for free, meet new people, and get insider tips on the area. This one requires a little bit more work, at least in my opinion. I really don't want to stay on a stranger's couch or in a stranger's place. But if you have met people from different countries in your prior travels, make sure you stay in touch with them. Add them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Make sure you keep in contact with these people, because you never know when you'll be in that country, and then you can just hit them up on social media and say, hey, bro, I'm in your town. Let's go out for a drink. Let's go out to a bar. I do need a place to stay. Do you have a couch that I can sleep on for like 1 or 2 days, and then I'm out of your hair in a couple of days? Because you don't want to overstay your welcome. And that's probably one thing that I would probably do if I happen to know someone in a city or country. No strangers for me. Okay, the next bullet point says negotiate long stays. Some accommodations offer discounts for extended bookings, like weekly or monthly rates. This is pretty accurate. This is really accurate. I know on Airbnb, for instance, they actually offer you a discount if you stay for like a month or something. This may be better for digital nomads or people that work remotely. They can literally work from anywhere. So if they stay in one place for a month, they receive a monthly rate, which saves them money in the long run. And they combine that with using their kitchen effectively, it'll be a lot cheaper to do this instead of even staying at home in the States sometimes. Okay, let me get to some of the chats before we go to the next slide. I tell Black Americans, go to South Africa for a vacation just to introduce yourself to Africa, and you will never regret it. Yeah, South Africa, I think, is more of a soft landing for Westerners here in the US because I think it's going to be more of a culture shock if they go to a much more cultured African country. If you kind of get what I'm putting down. My bad, man. Hostel for a solo traveler. Yes. Yes. Hostels for a solo traveler. I would say yes in European countries only. Maybe Asia. Asia and Europe, yes. America, South America, no. Hostel in Europe, but other places, hotels are even cheaper. That's true. That's true. Airbnb depends on the country. I will only do that in Western countries and few others. Yes. Yes, because Airbnb is banned in some countries as well because they don't like competition or capitalism. All right. The next slide is public transportation. How are you going to get around for the cheap in these different countries? Because if you guys haven't noticed, here in the USA, Uber, Lyft prices are absolutely insane right now. Like going from my house to the airport is typically $15, but leaving the airport is going to be like 30 or 40. It's crazy. That's why I park at the airport if I'm traveling somewhere over the weekend. That's another travel hack as well. If you guys are going somewhere for the weekend and you have like an economy lot at your airport where you can just park your car for like maybe 2-3 days, do that instead of taking an Uber or Lyft, because odds are it's going to be cheaper just to park your car there, and you get the convenience of being right in your car and being able to run errands right after you land at the airport. So public transportation, when you arrive in your new country, how are you going to get around? How are you going to leave the airport and get to your accommodations? Save on taxis and ride shares. Public transportation is significantly cheaper than cabs or app-based services like Uber or Lyft. Yes. That's why you have to really pick the where of your travels very carefully, because not every country, not every city has great public transportation. So for cities, for instance, like in the USA, Chicago, the Bay Area in California, I know New York, obviously, those cities, they're built for public transportation. And it's going to be cheaper to use public transportation, albeit much more dangerous and to use that. But listen, you can't have it all, man. But there are other cities like Tokyo, for instance, a lot of cities in China and Thailand. Bangkok has really great public transportation, man. So that's why you have to really pick the where you want to travel to. That's going to play a significant role in spending a lot of money on getting around. And damn, as much as you guys may hate it, you may have to explore some cities by foot, using your feet and your legs to walk around the city. Walking lets you see hidden gems in local life that you might miss by car or bus. This is important because you travel to a different country, a different city. You want to explore the culture. You want to explore the food, see the people, see the hidden gems. You are going to miss that if you only take the car or bus. Walking, you get to explore everything about the city. Just make sure that the where comes in again. You don't want to go walking in a city that you know is super dangerous, right? Because you just need to know where you're going. And you don't want to get caught up in a different country. And the next bullet point, use city passes or transport cards. This one really isn't that important unless you're traveling in a country or a city where you don't want to carry a lot of cash with you. So you would use your cash to buy like a transport card, and you would just load up money on this transport card, and you just tap it to access the public transportation each and every time that you go. And they do happen to have some unlimited travel sometimes, depending on the country, depending on where you're going to go. This is why the where comes in again. You have to do your research about where you're traveling to before you get there, so you won't be caught off guard by how expensive stuff is. So many cities offer day or week passes for unlimited travel on buses, trains, and subways. True. Use that if your country or city offers that, because that's going to save you a lot of money in the long run, especially if you travel solo. The last bullet point is rent a bike. Oh boy. Yo, a lot of countries nowadays, a lot of cities, they have these bike rental stations where you just download their app and you use your debit or credit card to put your information in order to rent a bike for a specific period of time. Depending on the weather in that particular city or country at the time that you're in it, that may be one of the best things to do to get around the city, is using a bike, especially if they have bike lanes and you know that you're going to be safe when you are traveling by bike. Rent a bike. Amsterdam, for instance, a bike city. Get yourself a bike, explore the city. You're going to have a great time, and it's rather affordable too to rent a bike in Amsterdam. They actually have more bikes than cars. Fun fact. In bike-friendly cities, renting a bicycle is a cheap, fun way to get around. Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Got another comment from Carl. Do you ever taxi or Uber in London, public transportation? Ooh, when I was in London, bro, I used exclusively Ubers because I didn't know any of this information. Because it was my first time in London. I was like, man, I don't know how to get around. I don't know how to do anything. I don't even think they had international data plans back then. It was maybe like 10 years ago. But nowadays, I'm using the tube, bro. Is that what they call it? The tube? The underground? The last point here, this, depending on who you're traveling with, right? If you're traveling solo, I would definitely use this. If you're traveling with a player two, like a plus one, if this may not work for them depending on how they travel, but planning and cooking your own meals. This is, yeah, the underground. This is a cheat code in itself, because I can tell you, when I lived in Mexico for 6 months, I was not eating out every day. It's difficult to eat out every day for every single meal in like a local spot in a country like that, because you're going to get sick of it. You're like, you know what? I want to actually make something for myself. I kind of miss some of the foods that I'm used to back in America. So you want to go and make some food yourself, but it also saves you money when you travel abroad, when you cook your own meals. So the first bullet point is shop at local markets. Yes. I can tell you, first off, the prices for ingredients at Walmart compared to a local market is substantial. And the fruits and veggies are way fresher at these local markets instead of going to like a big box store like Walmart or Chedraui in Mexico. It's going to be a much fresher and better experience if you go to a local market. You do have to speak the language of that particular country for you to kind of get a deal, because they will charge you some gringo prices. I'm not going to lie about that, but visit markets for fresh, affordable ingredients and get a taste of local food cuisine. A really cool thing that you can also do is look online for the foods that you can get in that particular country and look up the ingredients and how to cook that as well. And you can cook that while you're in that country and see how your cooking compares to the dish in the country made by someone else as well. You can compare, like, hey, I made this at my Airbnb. I want to actually try it at a restaurant when I go out and see if I can, if it tastes the same, then I can make it when I go back to America and have like a piece of that culture with me at all times, which is kind of cool. Look for accommodations with a kitchen. Yes, Airbnbs typically will have a kitchen or a kitchenette with at least maybe a one electric burner or a hob for my UK people. Cooking at least one meal a day can significantly cut food costs. Yeah, I actually do this as well. I cook at bare minimum breakfast when I travel abroad, at least a few days a week. If I'm traveling for like 2 weeks, because the breakfast meal is possibly the most important meal of the day, because it kind of gets you going. It kind of gets you going in the morning. It kind of keeps you focused on the next meal, because eating that breakfast at your Airbnb, cool. You can kind of plan your day during that meal. And then once that meal is over, you can go out to the city, explore, then eat lunch and then eat dinner, because you'll already be cool from your jump start during breakfast. And the next bullet point says, prepare snacks and drinks, especially water, man. When you're in a different country and you're going out walking, exploring the city, bring water with you. Bring like a gigantic water bottle with you, or go into a store or a market and get a big bottled water and carry that with you when you explore these cities. Because just like how I'm talking now, I need some water. And you walking around, biking around, exploring the city, you're going to need drinks, water as well, and snacks too. You can buy some snacks at the market with your drink. Cool. And the last part, one of my favorites. Of course, y'all know how I feel about food, man. Y'all see that on my reaction videos. I geek out over food, especially like good looking food. Try street food. Trying street food. It's often cheaper and more authentic than sit down restaurants, giving you a local food experience at a lower cost. That sounds very nice and rosy and rose tinted glass sounding, right? But again, the important part is choosing where you travel to, because not everywhere is going to have street food that is prepared in the most clean way, right? There are some countries or some cities that don't have the cleanest preparation of their street food, and you will experience food poisoning and or what they call in Mexico, Montezuma's revenge, if you go to a street food stall or stand that doesn't prepare their food properly, and you eat that food and you're wondering why you are in the bathroom for hours on end. It's interrupting your vacation. So be very careful about which street food vendor or stand that you go to. And again, the where is very important. If you go to Mexico, be very, very careful. I promise you. Places like Thailand, I think you should be good. I actually got sick in Thailand too. So you got to be real careful. For real. You got to go somewhere that's reputable and see if you can connect with a local that will tell you like where to go and where to avoid. And let's see. Before we go to the bonus here. Yep, it's called the underground. I love cooking my own meals at times when you're traveling. Yeah, bro, and even cooking something that you're familiar with in your home country or hometown when you're abroad kind of makes it feel like you're back at home. Like you get that little taste of home just for a little bit, you know? Even when you're traveling for like an extended period of time, it kind of makes you feel good to have that food from the house. And depending on the country, yeah, I just said that. Do not just eat in every place there is food. You will quickly regret it. Bro, I think we all have been through that, us frequent travelers or travelers outside of the USA. We think like, oh, yeah, everywhere has the same cleanliness standards as the US, and they don't, bro. They don't. And you end up taking an L. And that's why I stress the where you travel is so important. Okay, y'all ready for the bonus? Let's go for the bonus. Bonus 5. So I'm gonna go through these. I know I'm blocking the text towards the bottom here, but I'll post this. I'll put this in a Google Drive so you guys have access to this with additional hyperlinks to resources that I've mentioned on this live stream for my people that'll watch it on the replay. So the bonus, use travel rewards and points. This is a good one because if you guys remember earlier in the live stream, I mentioned how you can get free food and free snacks when you're at the airport. And I have the Venture X card by Capital One, and previously I had the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Both of those cards include an important perk called Priority Pass. So Priority Pass allows you to access lounges worldwide. In a lot of those lounges, they'll have free food, free liquor, and snacks and things like that. So if you do happen to want like free snacks or free alcohol, free liquor, get a travel credit card that includes that perk of Priority Pass. And once you have that, you can get to the airport a little early, maybe like 30 minutes, an hour early than you're used to. You go into the lounge, check in, you eat a little bit, drink a little bit, and once you leave the lounge, you won't even need to eat on the flight. If the flight's 3 or 4 hours, you're like, cool, I can eat when I land. And you don't have to pay those exorbitant prices at the airport for like fast food restaurants like Carl's Jr., McDonald's, Burger King. You don't have to pay for those prices because they're a lot higher priced than they would be outside of the airport. And did I mention how expensive things are once you're up in the air on the airplane? You don't have to deal with that. You can literally bring an empty water bottle, go into the lounge, eat your food, drink a drink, fill up that water bottle in the lounge with the water that they will typically have in the lounge. And then you don't even have to pay for water when you're on the flight as well, which is crazy to think it's like $5 for a bottle of water on a flight. So I'll read through this. So sign up for travel credit cards or loyalty programs that offer points or miles. You can use these rewards for free or discounted flights. Yes, that's how I'm flying to Africa next year. I'm using points. Hotel stays or even car rentals. Keep an eye out for special offers that can help boost your points quickly. Yes. The second point, I'm going to run through these because I know this stream is going on for a while. Look for free attractions and activities. Man, listen. There's so many free activities and attractions in these different countries, bro. I've seen it on Airbnb where they do walking tours where it's damn near free. It's like $5 or they just work for tips. And yeah, it says many cities offer free walking tours, museums with no entrance fees on certain days, parks, and local festivals. Research free or low-cost events and attractions at your destination. Bro, if you're really traveling on a budget, you can find a lot of free stuff to do once you're in these different countries or different cities. Museums, for instance, a lot of them have no entrance fees. You can go in, and you may end up finding it might be a good experience. It may be lit, and nobody really knows about it because they look at free stuff as not being worth traveling to or worth visiting, and it actually ends up being a great experience. You just never know. You have to go out and explore for yourself. This stuff may not be on Google. This stuff may not be on Yelp. It may not be documented on the internet, period. You just have to walk around and find it, honestly. This is a good one too. Booking in advance. The majority of the time, this is extremely important. What's up, Ingrid in the building? Booking in advance could save you a ton of money, obviously. This is one of the obvious bullet points here. And planning ahead for major expenses like flights, trains, or accommodations can help you lock in lower prices. Many companies offer early bird discounts, so booking well in advance can save money. Yes, I'm going through this now with booking a group trip to Brazil for next month in November. I can guarantee you, like, we're still booking accommodations as we speak, and I can guarantee you a month before this, things would have been a lot cheaper because we're paying out the wazoo for hotels in Brazil now because we're booking it a little bit late. And damn, I didn't even think about this one. Traveling overnight. And this is a big brain move right here. Consider taking overnight buses or trains to save on accommodation costs. This way, you can cover long distances while sleeping, essentially combining travel and lodging into one expense. I know that in Europe and Asia, they have like these overnight trains. That's a travel hack, low key, because you have a seat, you have a restroom, you have food on these overnight train rides, and they have sleeper trains. That's what they call it. They have the sleeper what's it, like the sleeper cab? The sleeper cab, that's a weird name, but a sleeper cab where you can book a room that has like a shower, a bed, and it's like a little, like a small upcharge from a regular ticket on these overnight travels here. So that's awesome, man. Didn't think about combining that, and it's going to save you money too. The next one is my favorite. The last one here is my favorite. Pack light to avoid luggage fees. Many budget airlines like Volaris, Spirit, Frontier in the US, Ryanair in Europe, and AirAsia in Asia, obviously, and all these other budget airlines, man, they charge you for anything. They charge you for everything. So avoiding luggage fees, especially if you connect somewhere and you're booking different airlines that charge their own separate fees for luggage, this is going to save you a lot of money over time. And I have it linked below, the luggage that I use that I explained to you guys earlier in the stream, where you can take the wheels off of this luggage and it fits into a personal item sizer box at the airport, and you don't have to pay for baggage. Many budget airlines charge extra for checked baggage or overweight luggage. Travel with a carry-on or a lightweight bag to avoid these fees, and pack efficiently to make the most of your space. And this is another reason why the where you want to travel is also important, because if you travel to a more tropical, warm climate, you're not gonna pack like sweaters, hoodies, jackets, or what have you. You're going to be packing shorts, t-shirts. I don't know. They don't say wife beaters anymore, do they? They say they say like tank tops. Yeah, tank tops, right? You pack very lightweight stuff, and a bonus thing I would add here is you can have packing cubes as well. Packing cubes in a carry-on or a personal item bag is going to save space as well, along with the vacuum bags too, guys. Don't forget about those too, where the travel vacuum bags, you put your clothes into like this bag and you zip it at the end and you roll the bag, and the air comes out of the bag and through a one-way valve on the bag, and literally like your clothes will be this big before you squeeze it down, and after you get the air out of the bag, it's like this little, and you put it in your bag and everything fits. And this is how you can maximize the space in your luggage. And yeah, just some travel hacks, man. I think that's it, guys. That's the last slide. Let's go through the chats. You got that soft Western stomach, bro. I honestly think that's crazy, bro. Can't believe I am late. Ingrid, you're never late. You can always replay this and hopefully get some value from this, and travel much more efficiently and save a lot of money when you travel. And I made this stream so you guys could see that traveling on a budget is possible. It is very simple as well. Also, I may sound controversial, but we Black folks, we travel differently compared to your standard due to things that may interest us. It's really nice to hear travel advice from Black travel. Yes. That's very true. Ryanair luggage fees will cost you more than your ticket. That's facts. It's the same with like Spirit and Frontier over here, because a carry-on luggage with Frontier is $60, and that's one way, and my ticket to Mexico was $30. So I'll never pay for baggage on Frontier. All right, guys, we've been on for almost an hour, and if you're here for that entire time, or even if you tuned in during the stream, I really do appreciate it. We made it almost an hour, and I hope you guys really gained some value from this live stream. And if you did, like it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you love my reaction videos, look up J Reacts. That's my strictly my strict reaction video channel that I made on YouTube, because they demonetized this one when I was doing the reactions, and now it's remonetized, and I still enjoy doing the reaction videos for you guys. So that's going to be it. If you guys think that someone else that you may know gets value from something like this, make sure you share the video as well. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. My name is Jay. You've been Trippin' with Jay. And I get to finally use my outro, guys. Have a good one.